Alright, where should I post this to?
Not sure. Yeah, definitely post it in Red Chat and ping Darks. It'd be funny. Nice. Destroy car.
I'm just thinking if there's anywhere else I should share it.
Maybe screen share? You hit up the other two officials, so. Maybe screen chat? You hit up the other two official servers, so. Alright, I'm gonna give it to the turn of the hour and then get started. Unless somebody shows up before then.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Hi, Tenchi. Good to see you here.
Well,
we're waiting until 00 to get started.
Yeah, give people time to join in.
Might pick a better playlist. I don't know if I like this one. Maybe I'll just pick New Hobbies. New Hobbies is a good pick. I have a nice chill day today. I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Tenchi?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Been a busy day for me, but...
I'm sure it's been busy. Actually, it should be fine like this. Yeah. It's not too loud.
Nice.
I don't have my good microphone on the computer, so it's just my laptop microphone, so it picks up all the static.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Mac heard that, he'd be like, just put a sock over your whole laptop, it'll work. He was, doing mic troubleshooting for everybody in the Storylock audiobook server, and I think the first thing he always went for troubleshooting for mic problems was put a sock over it. It fixed most of our issues. But, it's just so absurd. finally got Restream set up, so now it'll record to the YouTube as well.
Nice.
Let's see, social alerts.
While we're waiting, let me read off the summary contagious, just for those who haven't read it yet and haven't seen where it's up to now. Well, Contagious is an inspirational run without a doubt. It tells the story of just two characters, a man and his Pokemon, as they traverse the region and attempt to take down all the obstacles in their path. The classic man versus the world story. A prime example of the universally beloved David versus Goliath tale. Or it's Scott Pilgrim, but with less video games and romance and more hypnotism and meatball subs. We're shown Joda through the eyes of our charismatic main character, Niels. Niels' engaging and cordial narration is intended to draw you right in and let you be right alongside him through all his trials and tribulations. You can be right next to him as he goes about his day-to-day activities, almost like you, the reader, are helping him out. At the very least, you're his friend, his confidant, and his cameraman as he goes about his business. Alongside our hero is Vice, who's alternately the archetypal sassy friend, or a cat anamorphed into a tapir with psychic powers. Either way, his unique blend of humor, wit, intelligence, and psychic ability makes him the ideal companion, and one that our hero simply could not do without. Contagious is an optimistic look at Johto, where there's always hope that our hero will prevail, and that his distinct sense of justice will be brought to Johto by the end. Hopefully you can come along for the ride and see a man and his drowsy try to change a region for the better.
Did Gar seriously write all that shit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy.
I did not make that up on the fly.
I mean, I would have been really impressed if you did. But,
Yeah, no.
oh my god.
Warning, this run contains a hell of a lot of swearing. It's also quite dark given the controlling premise. So if hypnosis, gaslighting, that kind of stuff gets you, this run is not up your wheelhouse. Because, yeah, that may not have clued you in, but Niels is working for Team Rocket. They really do be like that sometimes.
I really do. Hi, Stormy. What are you doing? Hi, kitty cat. Hi, honey bun. I really don't like the fact that y'all
Hi,
walk
Glace. Welcome aboard.
Be drowsy, do crime.
It just be like that.
Buns, why are you behind the couch? Honey bun. Okay, y'all. We've got to stop. No,
Yep.
we gotta get away from the power strip. Thank you.
Nah.
Goblins.
We also should get started, I think, with the reading.
Alright. Let's see. I should be... Yep. Alright.
Yep.
Take us there, Jim.
Yeah.
Let me mute
Chapter
up.
8. Doors unlocked and open. The plan really hit me the next morning as I lurked around the gym waiting for Whitney to arrive again. She was a good few minutes later than the previous day in getting there, but as soon as I saw her I could tell why. She was busy chatting it up with Kyler. Kyler, again donning a terrible outfit I won't even begin to describe as anything further than thrift shop children's clothes. Use your imagination. Regardless of his horrendous apparel, which to his credit did fit his persona for this job, he had Whitney hooked on his sob story. Miltank was strolling along next to him. He was clutching his Sandshrew like a newborn, and Whitney looked like she was taking to a kind of mentor role already. That was the most obvious part of the plan right there. Keep working her and squeezing every ounce of trust out of her that he can muster, while getting as much scouting done as possible. Whatever I decided on doing, it was going to require both of those in high demand. A couple more days of that pass. Kyler raves to me about how well he's doing. I make sure things are sorted in my head on how it'll all go down, and Vice goes on a series of exploits around town that even I'm not fully aware of. Frankly, I really don't think I want to know. Once I plot a getaway and finished, a little bit of setup we need for this to go off smoothly. Two of us, Kyler's still working his tail off pursuing an acting career, and just kick back for a nice Friday afternoon and wait for the day of reckoning to arrive. And before I know it, it does. For once I can sleep in here in Goldenrod, at least until a knock at the door wakes me up at 9:30 sharp. I let Vice answer it, and without a word he opens the door. I hear a little jingling of metal, and Drowsy shuts it again before coming and depositing a set of keys on the nightstand. I finally drag myself up at 10. By 10:20 I'm on the subway north through a neighborhood of bricks and stoops instead of Pokemon gyms and florists. Only a couple blocks away from the gym, mind you, but like I've told you before, I can't exactly waltz right into Whitney's place and show her the light of Team Rocket in between battles or something. Tyler, on the other hand, can march right into Whitney's place. Exactly what he does this morning as well, except today he's going to lead her outside of the kingdom. I find the apartment complex from yesterday's setup, make my way up to the second floor, and whip out the keys to 2C. Vice gets let out of his Pokeball. I put the keys under a welcome mat outside the door. Now the two of us just wait by my burner phone. Vice people watches through the blinds to pass the time, and I pass time reading a book about Synovian mythology that this couple had on their bookshelf in the main area. Not like there's much else to do in here. The TV is so dated I'm surprised it doesn't have the rabbit ear antenna, and I wouldn't be watching it anyways. The whole apartment looks like a poorly aged artifact of living 50 years ago. Paint starts to peel off the formerly whitewashed walls to reveal ugly yellowed spots. The appliances look worn and greasy from years and years of use and misuse. And they were eyesores of appliances from the get-go. It smells vaguely like mold in here, which is shocking considering I can actually see mold here and there. Perusing a book and hopefully getting at least a little engrossed by it is the best I can do to not want to vomit looking at this gross shithole. My call comes at 11:47, a bit earlier than I had expected, thankfully. Hello? Hey Dad, Kyler greets on the other line. What's up? You and Mom are home right now, right? He asks, and I answer in the affirmative. Well, there's someone I want you to meet. She wants to talk to you guys about something. He sounds nervous, alright, and I can practically see Whitney curiously looking at him as he talks to me. Fucking bug-eyed look on her face, probably. Okay. When are you two gonna be here then? He says the lunch break is at noon, so we'll be there like 12:10, 12:15 at the latest. Sounds good. Oh, and one more thing. Kyla shifts into a low hiss of a voice at this. She has me walking the milk tank when Sandslash and I are around. After this, he shifts into a more normal tone of voice, albeit normal for his persona, which means annoyingly childlike. Needless to say, I enjoyed the respite while it lasted. So no worries, he even evolved yesterday, too. Alright, see you then. I hang up on him at that and give Vice a nod as he turns away from staring down at the sidewalks. 20 minutes, they'll be here. Good. Are we both hitting her with the hypnosis when she walks in, or will it just be me at first? Or will we be doing one of those things where she turns the corner and out of nowhere we're there? I think we're good just hitting her right off the bat. Standing in front of the doorway in the middle of that corridor there, so she has to look at us. That'll guarantee it goes off without a hitch, so I'm not 100% sure about using hypnosis and then trying to get me to link up in the middle of it. I'm pretty sure I can still jack up to your brain, so to speak, but yes, it'd probably be safest just to do it as per the usual. Vice replies, hopping off the windowsill and padding over towards the front of the apartment. Something we need to practice, I suppose. Not like we don't have a ton of time to practice along the way. Exactly. Oh, what about the milk tank? Kid says the milk tank hasn't been out when walking with him, so we're good there. Excellent. Wait, you were just planning on hypnotizing her, right? Yes, of course. Wait, why? Well, Vice starts. He's got a very matter-of-fact tone and posture to him, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I let him proceed. Wouldn't it make the most sense to hypnotize the milk tank, too? We don't care much about, say, Bugsy's Scythers. They'll just follow their trainers, no question. Heck, some would probably even appreciate the extra massaging their ID will get. But that milk tank is iconic in the region, so hypnotizing it is basically adding another member to the cause. And it's really quite intelligent. I wouldn't want it to catch on to Whitney being altered and somehow raising alarms. How the fuck is a cow gonna raise alarms to tell people, hey, this 13-year-old girl likes the idea of hacking off Slowpoke's tails now? Logistics don't matter right now, though I could tell you a few ways. But it can definitely happen, and I'm sure you'll agree we'd rather take no chances. Regardless of all that, having that bovine killing machine on our side is almost as much of a boost as Whitney in and of itself. Heck, you'd be the mascot for a rocket recruitment campaign or something. So if we didn't look like geniuses before with what we're doing, going above and beyond by thinking about this kind of marketing is sure to put us in the good graces of the higher-ups. Shit, he's got some damn salient points there. Okay, fair enough. But how are you? Just get it to release the milk tank, and as soon as it's out, focus on hypnotizing it. It'll naturally look at us, and boom, same exact deal that has us taking Whitney in the first place. I give a shrug and the nod. Sure, we'll hypnotize the pink fucker too, plaster its grinning face on the marketing campaigns like war propaganda. What harm could it do anyways, especially if it gets me more praise in the end? After putting my book back on the shelf and shutting the blinds, I stand in waiting next to Vice until I hear her talking in the hallway. Then the clink of metal on metal, then a lock being turned. Tyler opens the door and backs out of the way. Vice and I immediately start the hypnosis, and Whitney's left to look right at us, her eyes falling dim and her body slouching as we beckon her inside. Kyler quickly slips inside and shuts the door, giving a thumbs up as he makes his way over to our side to watch it go down. No witnesses. Excellent. You know Team Rocket, correct? I ask her, and she nods. Again, the two voices, Vice's and mine, merge into a horror film echoing abomination. I can almost sense Kyler cringing off to the side of it. I know it's creepy, but shit, it's kind of cool too, not gonna lie. Having that manifestation of our psychic link is oddly satisfying, and it certainly heightens the intimidation factor. I like to think the two voices themselves actually strengthens the suggestions, but I'm not 100% positive on the science of it all. Well then, surely you should know enough that you'll support them until the day you die, I half-ask, half-command. And yes, there goes the brain, whirring and overriding like a computer saving files, while three of us watch our innocence vanish in the process. Yes, sir, she says. I will never get called master first try. Don't people know that's what you call your hypnotizer when you're under their control? Basic etiquette. Yes, master, I growl. I wouldn't correct herself this time with a somewhat enthusiastic yes, master. Good. You know how to live by our credo, exploiting Pokemon for all they're worth. Vice fidgets a little bit beside me like he's got an itch on his trunk. Kyler just spectates in awe. Yes, master, Whitney says. They're tools, right? Existing for our glory, the glory of Team Rocket. I feel a bit of static in the link between Vice and I. He glances over at me for a second before returning to our subject, with the same odd look on his face. What? I ask him, and he shrugs it off. Just get on with it, he says through my mouth. I take a deep breath and turn to Whitney again, but not before growling. Help me finish this up then, and don't break the link. You've been so eager to join Team Rocket, so eager to work with us and sing our praises, and a couple weeks ago your day came. You have a lot of reading to do, so make sure you know all about us, but you love Team Rocket, that's for sure. Yes, Master, Whitney chirps, I love Team Rocket. When the time comes, you'll be singing our praises publicly to anyone who will listen, of how they've changed your life, how they'll change others, and how Rocket is the best thing to happen to the world. Yes, Master. Not now, Vice says, interrupting with his usual spiel. For now, you don't mention all the Team Rocket rhetoric you're committing to heart. And you won't be talking about this kid here that you met a few days ago either. At least refer to him vaguely, if anything, for privacy's sake. Maybe tell people you convinced his parents to let him travel, and that's why he's not around now. Also, why don't you bring out that milk tank of yours? We'd like to speak to her, too. She grasps at her belt and flicks her wrist to let out her ace. Just like Vice has prophesied, the milk tank looks over at us and falls under the same spell as her trainer. The drowsy continues speaking once she does. You, like your trainer, are all about Team Rocket. You'll do what she needs you to do when it comes to accomplishing Rocket goals, and you'll be getting the other team members to do so too. Until you make a hell of a team with us at Team Rocket for sure, and you've got a lot to contribute. Both human and Pokemon nod at us, and that's that. I tell her to head back to the gym with the milk tank beside her, and that leaves the three of us in here. Alright, 3 down, 5 more to go, and then I take on the lead. I say as I reach for Vice's capsule. He's staring at me as I do so, putting a finger up to stop me for a second. We need to have a discussion later, he says, and I give him no response before sucking him inside his Pokeball. I turn to Kyler now. You just stay here for a few minutes after I leave, I instructed. Just to make sure. After that, though, get the hell out of town any way you feel like, as long as nobody sees you. Oh, and don't take my getaway route, obviously. You know what it is, so just don't do it. I turn to leave, and only after taking a couple steps toward the phone do I remember to dig into my grab and grab another flip phone. Also, delete everything you can off that old burner phone and destroy it however you want. Throw it in the fire, toss it off the roof, dropkick it into the bay, eat it, it doesn't fucking matter. Just make sure it's got nothing on it and that it's dead as Whitney's childhood. We'll be using this one for air critique. I toss in the new one. And then you get to destroy this one too. You know my number? I know that one's number. I'll call you when I get the air critique and get settled. I look away for real and start to open the door to make my exit. First to the subway and then east into the woods. I can't resist tacking on a bit of praise to the kid though. And good work this week. You made things a lot easier than I anticipated. Keep it up. Especially those acting chops. Before I could stammer over a proper response, I'm out the door and making a break for it north to the broken down city. Okay. This is the end chapter. But I wrote the delay again. School's a bitch as it's laziness. It's a summer now for me, so theoretically I should have much more time, but we'll see. Once people nag me, I'll get it done. Song name is Doors Unlocked and Open. That's the name of the chapter if I didn't mention it. An amazing Krautrock influenced tune by Death Cab for Cutie. I could listen to this song all day, seriously, and it's one of my absolute favorite driving songs too. Just check it out. Okay, that's the end of the author's notes.
Jesus.
That was a chapter.
It's a chapter. Some tension.
Little bit,
I appreciate it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I sort of anticipated this going down. It was a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God. Things are gonna go so south. I'm so ready. Hi, Bree.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we're doing the Nuzlocke reading right now. We're taking a break at the moment, and then we're gonna hit it up again with chapter 9.
Oh, I didn't even know it was on the story thing because no one was muted, so I was thrown off guard.
Yep, we just finished the chapter.
Cool.
Yeah, say hi to the stream. Glace says hi as well. Gives me an opportunity to make sure everything is working fine on the stream add-on in as well.
I'm gonna grab some water. Somebody needs something from me, and then I'll be good to go again.
When do they not need something from you?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Okay. Okay. I wonder if there's
like a...
What's up?
Just do your thing.
No, it's okay.
Mhm.
I was just talking to myself.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't have much important to say. It was just I came here because like I was in a voice chat and all my friends were in it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Then I realized it's not an actual chat and it's just kazoos. And then I exited it because I couldn't say anything because I was terrified.
What?
There was too much noise, man. Like I had them all on the lowest volume, and on
Kazoo
it
posting.
was still freaking loud as heck.
It's terrifying, really, honestly.
It is.
Let's see. That's just all the attached streams. Okay, that's not what I was looking for.
It's a Kazobia.
Kazoo Mayhem. Small letters, hi. Hey, Glaze.
Kazoostrophy.
Kazoostrophy. Why won't you... Do you not like lettuce on your tostadas, Glaze? That's... lettuce on your tostadas. Vegetables are good.
That's valid.
I think I can actually... Eat your veggies. Kinda want a tostada now. That's unfortunate. I don't have any, like, tostadas, corn tortillas, or masa. Shit out of luck. Spinach is fair, but, like, shredded lettuce is the way to go for Mexican food. Or at least I think so. I don't think I've put spinach on Mexican food. It's not really what I think of when I think Mexican food. I'll eat a leaf, but none of them taste good. Some of them taste better than others. Sorry. I, like, also talk to chat while we're doing this.
Oh no, that's good.
Yeah.
Wait, fuck. What chapter? Shit.
We just finished 8, so now we're on 9.
Okay. Thank you, Glace. I don't know if you've ever seen the, signature for Contagious, y'all on chat, but it's real fucking good.
Oh, it is.
Gar has nice
Who
banners.
made that one?
I think it was Dusty. Because it's Persona 5. Yeah, they're from
Yeah.
Dusty.
Yeah, nice.
Eat the tostada.
Yeah, just to let you know, Brie, the story like we're reading, Contagious, is like, it has some pretty dark themes. So I just want to, like, come out with that now so you don't get blindsided by it.
Well, you'd have to specify which ones.
There's like a heavy element of hypnosis. Like, the main character is, a Team Rocket member.
Mhm.
And so the basic goal is that he's trying to go around hypnotizing all the gym leaders. Yeah.
That sounds fun. I mean,
Mhm.
fine, not fun. Fine.
It can be both.
Yes? Yes. We're gonna go with yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and as soon as I look away, Mihashi bot!
What's he
Oh,
doing?
whoa, that's the wrong one. Y'all didn't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amtrak FBI spies.
Thank you. I was gonna say it out loud if you didn't.
Oh hey, I figured out how to log in. Yay!
Nice.
That's the right window. Okay, I'm ready if you are, Jim.
Yep, I'm just about ready.
Okay, I'll mute up.
Now, if you want to mute up, I'm good to go.
Okay. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay. Chapter 9. We are all we have. I'm not exactly looking forward to whatever lecture he has to give me, but after I finally free myself from Goldenrod's boundaries, I let Vice out of his Pokeball again. I was rather enjoying the silence, the time all to just myself, something I don't get much of these days. But I'll have enough of that after this is all over. Welcome back to the real world, I greet him when he emerges, and he simply stretches his limbs out like he's just woken up from a day-long nap. Ignores my hello, how rude. So about the discussion, he says, cracking a couple knuckles as well. Wow, not even a high back. Wasting no time getting on the lecture circuit with me. I'm sorry, I did not know that you were starting to going through such formalities. I never saw Team Rocket as an organization so keen on proper conversational etiquette. I shall try to remember next time, my dear sir. Fuck off. What's this whole talk about? Vice inhales, his trunk flopping a bit when he exhales back out. I've been thinking recently. How dangerous. Yes, you should try it. Anyways, there's a question I'd like to ask you, Niels, if you don't mind. I'd very much like you to give me a straight answer. No delving into the rhetoric you hold so near and dear to your heart, just a candid conversation between partners here. The fuck is he talking about? Fine, no rhetoric, no bullshitting, what is it? He looks me dead in the eye, almost like he's about to try to peer as far inside my head as possible. I'm not a tool, am I? I just cocked my head, motioning him to press on. You've been laying on thick that whole Pokemon are tools to be exploited part of Team Rocket's credo and such. You really blew off that Hypno down south when he actually had quite valuable input, which I've very much taken advantage of thus far. You hardly even care to deal with the milk tank despite all the possible benefits that could arise from just 20 seconds more work. And you hardly cared to let me wander by the city till I came home with more money in one place than you see in a couple weeks' work. I don't know what I expected. I'd just like to know that I'm still being seen as a partner and as an equal in this relationship of ours, rather than a walking, talking instrument. Vice, you are my partner. You know, that is what you told me when you caught me, when I was swept away from my little existence down south of the city. To see the world with you, you said you'd make this worth both our whiles. You said we'd be partners the whole way as we learned to better our hypnotic skills and such. And up to this point, yes, I'd been content with our partnership. With all this you've been shoveling into kids' minds recently, it just has me concerned. You might see me as just a short little butterball of psychic energy and snarkiness, but shockingly enough, I'm actually a living being, much like yourself, with emotions and feelings. As a kicker, I have the ability to comprehend things on a higher level than most other species, as you've no doubt noticed. His posture is dead straight now, while his eyes narrow just a smidge and their intensity multiplies. So let me circle back to the original question. I'm not a tool, correct? I sigh, scratching the back of my head and leaning back on an especially thick pine. Of course you're not a tool, I assure him. You're still on the same exact footing with me as when we started working together. And what footing is that? Vice prouds, mimicking my positioning and pressing his elbow against a tree of his own. The edge of my lips twitch as I quickly try to come up with a reply. A footing predicated on us being partners, of us working together to accomplish these goals, and a footing that we've held this entire time. I almost hear a click in my head when the right words come to mind to assuage him. We've been working together for how long now? 2 years, give or take a bit, I'd say. 2 years, and we haven't had much in the way of conflict so far other than the garden variety personality clashes that every duo has. I'd say it's a pretty good record and one indicative of our relationship. And it's sure as hell better than all those other rocket grunts who literally cannot care less about their Zubats. It's Vice's turn to just stare me down, pressing me forward in my monologue. Look, maybe I've come off a bit strong with that side of the credo so far, and I'll admit that. I'll keep that in mind for Morty. But I'm not discrediting you at any point, and I sure wouldn't do it right fucking there in front of you while our minds are hitched. I firmly believe this relationship would not have gotten anywhere near as far as it has even at this point without some level of mutual respect. From day one to tomorrow. So let's just carry on with what we've got, okay? We've already taken 3 gym leaders down, no reason to let up now. We're firing on all cylinders. His glare runs right through me, half in my head and half in his own. Finally, he returns from outer space and gives me the slightest of nods. I suppose you have a point. Let's just get the egg critique and set up camp there, then. The drowsy's gaze softens, and he gives me a nod before we start walking north again, leaving that discussion far behind us. After all, I didn't make it this far by making concessions. There was a band I liked back in my high school days when I actually gave much of a shit about music. They had 2 vocalist songwriters, and after seeing some half-assed box office bust comedy movie, they decided to call themselves Couples Therapy. Admittedly, it's a good name for a punk band. They released their first album to not much more than a little local fanfare. Nothing groundbreaking in their music, but a somewhat thoughtful offshoot of punk that had its message straight. A little politics, a little romantic heartbreak, and a lot of fuck yous. Some critics picked up on it, gave it solid reviews, and the band started making a name for themselves with what attention they'd gotten. Plus non-stop touring all over Kanto and Johto. Hell, Couples Therapy is the only concert I've been to when they came to the Azalea area for who knows why. Those small-time starving artist bands will play anywhere for a fistful of poke. Then I hear one of their songs in an advertisement for a video game. My teeth grit themselves together, seeing animated gunmen in the midst of battle while the lead singer of the band is shouting. The rest of the group is wailing on their instruments. Then I hear they've signed to a major record label. Fine, I tell myself, they deserve the accolades. They deserve the bit of wallet patting. What matters is the music, right? And they put out a new single. And it's pop-punk garbage. I wouldn't play it to prisoners detained and tortured at a government facility, much less at any kind of concert or public venue. Their shirts start selling at stores and suburban malls, and kids whose idea of punk is to dye their hair black and get a cheap-ass lip piercing start parading Couples Therapy's music like it's, any good. Like it's deep and speaks to them on some level. When everyone knows at this point they're a fucking corporate mouthpiece. You can't be genuinely punk when the sofa you're sleeping on has $1,000 under the cushions. They persisted like this for a couple more albums, each progressively more popular than the last, and each progressively more self-parodying, before finally one of them woke up from their trance and said, "Hey, wait a fucking minute, we're a fucking punk band." Except they weren't, not since the first album. They dumped their record label, went self-produced, started their own label, got their own producer to back to record their new album, and it sucked. You know how those albums go, those recapture the magic albums that just come off as contrived and inevitably just way too clean. And that sorry-ass group fell off the face of the earth. Think of all the bands that have been brought down like this. Think of all the movies and TV shows you've heard of, or you've seen or heard of that look good, and to compromise their premise or bits of the show because of some censorship concern, or the head honchos thought it was too rough, or they wanted the show to be this instead of being that, and then they get shit on by viewers and critics alike. The greats in any field didn't achieve greatness by compromising. They stuck to their guns, figuratively and literally, and rode them to the top. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't need Couples Therapy to achieve greatness. The 2 of us make it to a couple hours down the road before something peculiar catches my eye, or rather, someone peculiar. She looks like the kind of girl you'd see in the middle of a mosh pit. Speaking of, on the stouter side, black hair with red highlights, plaid jacket on a black shirt with skinny jeans and old chucks on the lower half. Above all, though, her brown eyes are dead set on me from the moment she spots me, giving me a hell of a stare down as she marches over. I don't know what the hell is with people this afternoon and give me the stink eye, but it better be temporary. Nails? Yeah, I grunt back. Savannah, got assigned to help you out for a bit. Don't ask me why, I've got no fucking clue, but here I am. If you don't want to be here, then go take a vacation for a week and tell them you helped me out a shit ton. I don't care. Seriously, I don't need some whiny-ass slacker chick ruining my work and putting my mission in danger. Especially when I actually have at least one competent grunt able and willing to help when needed. If I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here, trust me. So believe it or not, I'd rather be talking to your ass and the rod that's stuck up it than doing shots in Olivine. So here I am. I swear, kids these days have no respect for authority. As long as she wants to be here, though. Well, nice to see you showed up then, and with such a great first impression. I assume you know the whole deal with what I'm doing? I ask, and she nods. I know enough, Savannah replies with nothing more. Good. So I've already got a kid who's going to be doing some scouting, so I'm not going to get you two to just sit on your ass and watch Morty play with himself. I like that advice, who gives me a shrug. Alright, tell you what. Until we figure out an action plan for Morty, why don't you just do some research on the guy? Actual research. He's a ghost trainer, so I'd rather we not get drawn up in all that if possible. Look up shit about ghosts and psychic Pokemon and all that, see if there's some advantage we can draw on, or a way to circumvent the advantage they have. Ecritic's probably got a ton of libraries and bookstores to find that information. So instead of people watching, I'm reading books. Old, dusty, non-fiction books. It's that or all the divine fireballing. Up to you, I tell her before Vice and I saunter away, without so much as a single gesture of goodbye. Obviously, we decided to cut around National Park. Much as I'd like the scenery, I'd be marred by people everywhere, especially those damned bug horrors. They've got brains the size of Joltik shit, or as obnoxious as Durant's, and the self-awareness of a pissed-off Beedrill on bath salts. You know what I mean, I don't need to talk about this further. I honestly almost wish I could round up all of them from the park and Ilex and just take a giant magnifying glass to them. Fire is super effective against bug, after all. What isn't effective against bug is psychic, though, which is all the more reason for us to just take the wilderness trail once more. At least till we get to Route 37. That route's usually pretty deserted from what I remember, so I don't mind getting some actual fresh air there instead of having my nose be constantly assailed by that dynamic duo of pine and poop. Then again, Route 37 is very much a forest route itself, so never mind. I recall that as we approached, seeing the narrow road lined thinly with trees on both sides. I mean thinly, literally, too. The woods looked ragged and beaten down by nature on the edges. Peering through a little ways, they immediately pristine. It's almost a metaphor of what I like to think I'm doing to people as I travel about. Breaking through the cracked exterior and enriching the interior with all the gung-ho Team Rocket attitude they need to fit in with what we've got in store. There aren't too many trainers and other people about, but still more than I expected, unfortunately. Vice and I are just getting ready to duck into the forest with the rest of our truck when I spot something familiar. Or somewhat familiar, at least. A battle's going on up ahead, but the looks of it is pretty much done for. A sentry is displayed on the short grass, looking prone even from as far away as I am. And above it looms a short, pudgy creature, not looking so small and innocent to his foe, I'm assuming. The drowsy's eyes light up, as do I notice his glance as trainers. A faint, powder blue glow that makes the sentry go limp, and I recognize the Dream Eater that follows and takes out whatever energy the battle the opposing Mon had left. Game, set, match to the Psychic type, not a surprise to me in the slightest, considering what the best type of Pokemon is, though I'm clearly a little biased, so I digress. Based on what you've seen so far, though, I'm sure you could find yourself in agreement with me. The drowsy trainer is a guy a couple years younger and a full head shorter than me, with a raggedy brunette head of hair. He happily collects the money from the boy he's just beaten, and on that they simply head their separate ways, or one of them does. The psychic trainer and his trusty hypnotic sidekick stick around, the human counting his earnings and Drowsy giving a yawn. All the while, Vice and I are just sauntering right on over to them, my curiosity having been piqued seeing another psychic trainer flexing his skills. Nice job there, I call once I'm close enough, and the young man looks up, stuffing the bills into his pocket as he gives me a once-over. Oh, thanks. Were you... Not the whole thing, unfortunately, just the end. But then I guess that's all I needed to see, huh? Didn't look like too much of a battle from my standpoint, more like target practice. He laughs, scratching the back of his head almost sheepishly. Clearly this guy's a good bit more modest about his powers than I like to be. You could say that. I mean, he definitely wasn't bad. But he rushed over here challenging me and we kinda just outclassed his little sentry there. He wasn't bad, he was just completely in over his head. Got it, Vice jokes with a grin, earning 2 more trainer in this Pokemon. A feeling of unrealized potential, unlike you. Excuse me? I say with a scoff. That was awful polite of him. Oh, I'm sorry. He does that whole wasn't me jazz hands routine, laughing off his mistake. Poor wording. That's what I get for thinking aloud. What I meant was, the kid in his center, they have much in the way of potential, but at the moment they're obviously lacking in skill. Whereas you, sir, you're there. You're practically operating at your peak, and it's a pretty solid peak, as I'm sure you're aware. Damn right I'm operating at a high level. Won't be nice if he wasn't saying I peaked at 22, though. Interesting, though. You're not a psychic by birth, are you? You're really quite strong if that's the case. You're saying an awful lot about a guy you met a minute ago, I say cautiously, making sure he can detect the growl in my voice as well as he's trying to detect everything else about me. Suppose I am. Apologies. That's just what I do, I guess, is try to read people. See if my mind can obtain me an information. I mean, I'm a psychic, that's how I apply my trade. An awfully cheerful, talkative one to boot. Good for him defeating the stereotype of all psychics being loners or just outright crazy, though. Well, that's generally how I apply my trade, too, I reply, glancing down advice. But I like to think I take it a few steps further. Really? How so? He asks, and that's all the go-ahead I need. Let me give you a little lesson, I tell him, and as soon as he can perk up with interest, Vice and I have got him in our grasp. As an added bonus, that drowsy of his is looking over our way, too. With just a glance and a flick of my wrist, we've got a twofer. The trainer's brain is an interesting one to read, for sure. The vast majority of human brains aren't too much different from each other in one sense. They all perform the same kind of basic duties, carry out regular human actions, and think regular human thoughts. This one, though, has a couple differences. The obvious one, as you probably guessed, is that the naturally psychic brain is wired quite unlike its less gifted counterpart. Parts of the brains are enlarged and simply connected to each other in a more intuitive way. What all these minor differences and the wrinkles of their brains add up to is heightened perception, as well as more control over the electrical frequencies and magnetic fields and such, to the point where they can do simple psychic things like telekinesis and forms of mind reading with ease. This kid is more adept at the latter, other than seeing what I did coming, of course. However, the second difference is the more interesting one to me, and it kind of branches off the first. In essence, his brain, through some threads, so to speak, that I can kind of detect, is connected with that of his drowsies. They've obviously been together quite a while. Without firmly these threads bind them together, but it doesn't seem that they're much different from Vice and I, and not as proficient in some regards. Until I tell the human that dropped all four to see the drowsy motioning do the same. I look at Vice and he knows exactly what I'm thinking. The way we're linked up now, of course he does. It's frustrating in a way, since right now my window into his mind is blurry, while he's picking up my thoughts as he pleases. But when it's as convenient as it is at times like these, not having to vocalize commands and such, I won't complain. I'll turn myself up further and link more with him, so I'll be able to detect his thoughts soon enough anyway. Stand up, we command him, and the kid does as he's told, obviously. Now, though, I make sure to focus on pulling those threads between the two, or treating the two of them as one entity, trying to tug on what binds them together. Both of them fall to their knees on my command, and then all fours, in unison like a miniature army. The most sinister of smurfs creeps onto my face. I beckon them with a finger, and both human and drowsy crawl over to me. I point down at my shoes, and both look up to me as if to say, really? They do indeed kiss my feet, and before we let them go, Vice and I do my best to wire them together even further. Get them to think as much of the same as possible, get them to say the same words at the same time, and think the same thing afterwards, and just not be able to pull away from the other. From a miniature army to a miniature hive mind, if you will. I'm not sure how well it works, of course, as I walk off after cutting them out of the trance, but both of them muttering, what the? At the same time, doesn't make my ego any smaller. I only turn back around when I notice Vice isn't lockstep next to me. And instead he's talking to them, making little hand motions, looking all chipper and friendly. He notices me stop to watch him from up ahead, so he hurries up his little spiel, or scurrying his fat ass on over. And I start sauntering off again before he's halfway to me. How connected were they? I ask him, without so much as a glance at the drowsy. Not quite what you were hoping for, but not bad, he replies. And no, sorry, that wasn't what I was doing. Well, I could figure that much out, I say, cursing to myself. Suppose I still have some unrealized potential to work towards after all. Ever want to know what you were doing then? Nothing overly important, so no. I guess I figured that if you were going to give them a little lesson, then I could too. An actual lesson. How sweet. Maybe. Maybe I finished what you started and they're over there finishing each other's sentences and thoughts all day long. You never know. Vice looks up at me and the grin on his face betrays almost nothing. That's exactly why a good part of me thinks he did and just doesn't want to be straightforward about it. I like to think I know that mischievous look on his face by now. And hey, that's fine by me. As long as we're synced up as we have been, and as long as we're all well prepared, even Morty won't stand a chance. End chapter. So first of all, don't trust that song title because for once it's not a song that's on my Spotify and all. I have it there because the band that performs it, The Casualties, is a polarizing punk band who many have accused of selling out and all, so I figured fuck it. It fits great with the chapter in the monologue. I would have put a Green Day song for the same kind of reasons, but I couldn't find a song on their last few albums whose title fit. Speaking of, that's my favorite monologue so far for Nails. I was trying to think of something that fit because after that talk was the perfect time for a monologue. And of course, my music horse self decided to turn it into that analogy. It was a minute later that I came up with the band name, and it just fucking clicked. I don't think anything else I've written so far has come out as easily as that monologue first did. Next up, Critique City, with a much shorter update too. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and I'll see you next update. End author's notes.
Lord. It's
Yeah,
very Gar.
Yeah, no, it was extremely Gar.
I started talking music and I was like, this is like a subject that I feel like is very dear to Gar.
Yeah, no, I could hear Gar talking as soon as the music, like the monologue came in. Like he tried to like play it off, like, but Niels isn't into music anymore. I was like, no, Gar, you can't try that. I know you too well.
We all know it's you. I'm gonna go turn on my lights. It's starting to get late.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, Spacey, definitely.
I'll go ahead and take a bathroom break while I'm up. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
So how many chapters are we gonna go for today?
I'm not sure.
So
Depends on the length and part. Yeah, what's...
I'm not sure how. I know how the catches work in this run, but I'm not like smart. But that drowsy is probably a catch, right? Drowsy kid.
I'm not sure. I think that might be just a reference to like some of the jugglers that you find on those routes.
Maybe. Yeah. Talk. Oh God. Oh boy, a pop-up ad. Thanks, Tapatalk. The things I do. How do I... Hey, Bug!
Red will probably be home soon.
Hey,
Okay,
Bug, do you
Glace.
mind eating me a link to the story lock?
Yeah, I could do that.
Thanks.
Because this was... It's quite impressive.
Nuzlocke? Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at, like, the amount of writing, because...
Hmm.
Since I've had the opportunity to get into reading more, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be fun when I start writing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Reading is a good way to temper my pacing, though, which I do have pacing issues.
Yeah.
Do you go too fast?
Yeah, I tend to jump from, like, scene to scene for what I'm excited about the most, and then I sort of miss the interesting meat in the middle, which is, which a lot of the story locks are really good at getting to, you'll see, like, the really big ones.
So, if we're going for a sandwich analogy, you focus too much on the meat and forget about all the other good stuff.
Yeah, it's like the whole... it's... tangentially, I learned something. There was some advice the therapist gave somebody, because they were just like, yeah, some days, you know, it's just too much, I can't even get up and make myself a sandwich, and the therapist is like, you know, you can just eat the sandwich parts separately instead of having to make it, and they were just like, you could do that? So, good advice. If you can't make yourself a sandwich, you can just, like, eat the lunch meat. It's okay.
Yeah.
The pacing on your comic is really good, Spacey.
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm, like, making a sandwich, I'll take, like, an extra piece and just eat the lunch meat.
Yeah. Yeah, also thinking about it, I don't know if Route, I think it was 39 before a critique even has drowsies, but...
Stormy.
Hmm.
Slappy cat, slappy cat, slappy cat, spank, 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 spank,
Slappy
spank,
cat,
spank,
slappy
spank,
cat.
spank.
Slappy, slappy, slappy. I want to go slap my cat now. Hey kitty, you want to say hello to the stream? Slappy, slappy, slappy. Oh, you're so warm. You're so warm from the sunlight. Oh, don't bite me.
I believe, and I look forward to the next update. You're so close to the end of,
Yeah.
end of Johto.
Hype.
Very hype.
Oh, what's Spacey's comic?
Blooming Glory.
Blooming Glory.
I did a feature on it once.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, my caps lock is on. I think I can.
I can't wait until the new forums open.
Same.
Let's see.
Hopefully it'll be soon.
Preferably in the next 2 to 3 hours.
I don't know if it'll be quite that soon.
If only. If only.
Oh, this is divided into arcs.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fancy. Oh,
you ready to go, Jim?
Yeah, I'm just about ready.
Okay, let me know when.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably check when I work tomorrow. I haven't done that. I think it's
Yeah.
fine, but I need to know before I guzzle another Red Bull like the
Another
fool I
Red
am.
Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably a close though. Yes, it is. I go in at 2.
Oh, nice. Lucky you. I mean, we are almost at the end of Arc 1, huh? I'm excited.
Yes. I think like
I want-
ending at Arc 1 might be a good thing to do.
Aw.
Well, yeah, we could do that. It's just 2 more chapters, I think.
Yeah. See if we can find a day that more people are able to
Oh.
be here so they don't miss too much.
Yeah.
Well, now we can just give them the YouTube link now that I've got Restream working.
Nice.
That's one thing.
Oh, good.
It is
Ooh,
finally
nice.
set up so it will automatically be on the YouTube, so if anybody misses anything, they can backtrack and listen. So I can't find my
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Or they could optionally just read it themselves, but you know, that removes all the fun commentary.
Yeah.
And Drowsy is your favorite Pokemon.
The point is, like with the Storylock audiobook project, is to give people that prefer to listen to
Mhm.
audio to to
An
listen.
option? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So this is like the commentary version of Contagious.
Imagine your Kindle, but it comes with commentary.
Extra cut.
It's just like, you know, your own book club, except you can't participate. Unless you're here.
Mm-mm.
Contagious with Jim's sultry voice and some new hobbies in the background. Hi,
Oh,
Full
hi,
Mental.
Hi!
Oh, whoa.
Oh my god.
Interesting timing. Yeah.
Full
Very,
metal.
very interesting timing.
We
Oh,
are just about getting ready to tuck into the 10th chapter of Contagious.
do I have chapter 10 pulled up? I sure hope I do.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I do. Alright. I
Okay.
don't know where my Red Bull is, but that's fine. Oh,
I mean, I
excuse
can wait for you to locate it if you'd like.
do I really need it right away? I don't think so.
I think you
Okay.
won't die.
I sure hope not.
Well, I mean, to give you the Cliff Notes version, Full Mental, Vice and Niels hypnotize a bunch of people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Drowsy is your favorite Pokemon.
Yes. Your absolute favorite Pokemon.
And Niels is not good for children.
Yeah.
No. It's very mean to kids.
Alright, so I'm good to go if y'all are.
I'll meet up.
Okay. Chapter 10 New Dark Ages. You know those times when you walk into a building and a new smell assails your nose? It could be candy sweet, it could be rotten eggs, but either way, you and your nose recoil. Have to stand in the doorway like an idiot trying to regain your olfactory equilibrium. Could be any smell, too. Shit, it could be enough weed to get you high off secondhand smoke. I know I've unfortunately dealt with that before. Ecrotique smells like a different kind of smoke. What Ecrotique gives off is like fireplaces and arson, like Christmas Eve a century ago and a demolition yesterday. It's very aromatic, if your definition of aromatic accounts for tragedy. The scent creeps up on you as you approach because you're surrounded by the evergreen and the pine. No shit, you're getting 2 nostrils full of wood, but the second you walk through the gates, the wet wood gets a match thrown on it. Smells nice, Vice says as we cross city limits. Other than the backstory, it's kind of soothing, much better than Goldenrod and all that smog. The smog isn't even that bad in Goldenrod, you can hardly tell. Talk to me about that when you've been to Saffron. When were you in Saffron? He asked, clearly not having traveled around as much as I have. Not that I'm a fucking world traveler myself, of course. Not long after I joined, that's where the little training academy is for Kanto and Johto. I heard they started to clean up nicely in the past couple years. He looks over the east horizon if he can spot the smokestacks from here. You can probably almost see the hole in the ozone layer from here at least. Yeah, because they were breaking every rule in the book, and finally the government decided to enforce a law or two once the people got pissed enough. I mean, in this day and age, that's progress. And who exactly are you to judge that? I press, albeit with a hint of a smirk. I didn't know Vice was so judgmental. A Pokemon who doesn't contribute to human pollution. He's not wrong, especially at the moment neither of us are exactly living on the grid. I pull out my one connection to the grid, as the outskirts of painted civilization surround us though. My burner-phone, a near literal brick I could drop off the top of the bell tower and find undamaged at the bottom. Takes a few seconds longer than a few seconds too long to power up, but you get what you pay for. It only stays on long enough for me to message Kyler and Savannah to meet up with me at the shitty motel I get to stay at this time. They can figure out where it is just fine. As a matter of fact, they do, apparently at the same time, using my advice letting both of them into grand, cramped, walls-peeling room 215 at the same time. Welcome to Four Seas Resort, Vice greets, getting a smirk out of Kyler and an eye roll from Savannah. I side with the latter. Okay, so obviously we're going for gym number 4 here. I start once everyone's settled. Vice sits on the bed, clutching a pillow as if it doesn't have 10 different diseases on it. Kyler's sitting on the floor at the foot of the bed, and Savannah takes a shitty chair at the shitty termite-racked desk. Whitney was easier than I expected thanks to Kyler going all PokeStar Studios on her, but unfortunately I wouldn't expect that to be a recurring theme from here on out. Savannah shoots a glance over at the other grunt, and obviously he's looking all self-satisfied. Deservedly so, at least. If he ever finishes with Rocket alive and not incarcerated, he could have a little acting career. A respectable one, even. Maybe. The industry loves taking kids like him and destroying them from the inside out, so who knows? My critique isn't goldenrod, so we'll have to stay under the radar, but that's not a problem. There's about 20 trillion trees in this city, and almost that many senile geezers. If you can't go around without being detected, you deserve whatever's coming to you. Okay, great, I was fucking invisible back in grade school. This'll be easy, Savannah says. So what exactly are we gonna be doing? Well, lucky you don't have to sit in the library all day anymore. You can go ahead and start scouting out Morty and his tendencies, maybe ask around about him too. Pretend you're some tourist or trainer or something, I don't know. Kyler, you scout the gym in general, and whatever other info you can get about Morty while you're there. Try to get in there, take a peek at the layout, schedule, anything. Don't think you can reel Morty in the way you did Whitney unless he's a kitty diddler, but you'll figure something out. Both of them look at each other and then back at me. I give Vice a glance before facing them again. Come back here a couple nights from now with intel and we'll go from there. And speaking of Savannah, what'd you figure out before we got here? She looks like a student trying to hide from the teacher's question. Not much? How much is not much? I prod ominously. I swear, if she didn't do anything. I mean, I found some stuff. I didn't blow you off or anything, but it was... Science isn't my strongest subject. And what is that supposed to mean? Her voice lowers to a growl. It means that what I found was scientific explanations of the relationship between ghosts and psychics, and I couldn't figure it the fuck out. All I got out of it was that ghosts are more resistant to the psychic forces and electric shit psychics do. And they're hard to hit because they're less tangible? I don't fucking know. I wrote down the book so you can check it yourself. She hands me a slightly crumpled note from her pocket, which is something I entirely expected out of her. At least I can read the handwriting. After this, everyone splits up into all their different tasks for scouting the 4th gym of Johto. And to everyone's mutual credit, nobody sees each other for the next couple of days. If anyone had spotted each other, that would have been trouble. If a freaking middle school or whatever age Kyler is can see you stalking Morty around, not only are you terrible at your job, but you're probably going to get caught, tarred, feathered, and roasted by the judicial system. And once that happens, I don't give half a shit about you. Of course, I am keeping on lookout for everyone else, and 3 days into my side of the scouting, I come across Savannah. When she sees me, she looks around before ducking into the brush where I am. Yes, I prod. It's not looking easy, she starts. For starters, he's a total fucking recluse. Could be more of a hermit if he lived up on top of a waterfall like a geezer from Up. How much of a recluse are we talking here? He lives at the gym, for one thing, and I mean he lives there. I don't think he ever leaves. Like, I'm sure he leaves sometimes for important shit like Pokemon League meetings or whatever. What I'm seeing, he gets food delivered, and then he just sits around and trains in the darkness in there and all that shit. Shit, that's not good. Right away, we're definitely not going to be able to do anything close to what happened with Whitney. Well, thanks for the heads up. Anything else? Not really. I mean, Kyler could probably tell you more about the gym itself. Obviously, I've been trying to keep an eye on Morty and ask around a bit, and he's just a hermit. A total hermit. Alright, well, thanks. Meet back up in a day with everyone else in my room, and we'll talk further plans. Until then, keep trying to figure out what you can. Sorry you got the short straw this time, I guess. Yeah, I'm not running around at critique. I'm on a fucking scavenger hunt for this scouting job. I'm all good. Seeing her brilliant work ethic, shoo away at that. and a minute later I go my separate way as well, ruminating on this development. The last couple of gyms, it was easy to just catch the leader while they were out and take him down like that. And Faulkner hardly counts because his gym should hardly even be called a gym, it was so shoddy and basic. And here we are at gym number 4, the beginning of the real test that the league apparently throws at children. And suddenly, yet unsurprisingly, the degree of difficulty has been raised a couple notches. I take a moment to think on all of this, on what the hell to do about a man who never leaves his league-sanctioned fortress of a home. I'm probably have to give Eli a call too, get his ass down here since it's looking like all hands on deck here in Equity. And then something occurs to me, thinking about something Savannah said a minute ago. I'll have to check with her to be sure of the specifics, but I might just have a way in. I talked with Savannah again, and then another time just to confirm facts. I talked with Eli, and he should be here tomorrow. I talked to Kyler, who unfortunately was not as still of an aid on this gym, so far, as he was on the last one. He at least garnered some key information, though, especially that a couple of days from now, Morty's only got one battle. Bright and early at 9 in the morning. And he could confirm something Savannah had suspected, which was exactly what led me to following this young man around the east side into a local Unovan deli. He's either one of the most innately cheery and social people in this big, insular, old-ass city, or he came here often enough that he and the employees knew everything short of each other's pins at the bank. Either way, it's all smiles in the old sandwich shop as far as I can see. Mice and I are a little ways away, just making sure that this errand is going according to our intel. Unfortunately, as you can tell, this isn't Morty. I sincerely wish this was, that the infamous secluded ghost master of Johto was about to be outed as a Team Rocket supporter, thanks to his sincere love of roast beef sandwiches. But alas, we're instead stuck with... Fuck if I know this guy's name. He looks like a J or an Ivan, kind of like Faulkner grew up and went a bit emo, I don't know. Maybe he listens to couples therapy. Whatever his name is, he collects all the sandwiches, clearly having ordered for the gym, running back and forth like an office intern, and exits the deli, pushing the door open with his free hand. This prompts Vice to scurry into position and me to saunter over to mine, behind some trees that bed up the road from this deli along the way back to the gym. The gym trainer fishes out a smartphone, clearly not being as entrenched in his studies and detached from the real world as Morty, and flicks it on with a swipe of his thumb. But it's interrupted when Vice wanders out and tugs at the bottom of his shirt. He looks down, sees Vice's earnest face, and as soon as he asks, "Yeah?" he's betrayed by it as it glows the ever-familiar fuchsia. The drowsy points him in my direction before escorting him over here, and as he approaches, I link up with Vice to augment the hypnosis. Immediately, I know there's going to be a bit more of an issue with this gym than I had previously thought. I can see and feel just from this hypnosis and such that his brain is a bit, well, ghastly. I had figured and heard that ghost-type trainers tended to have that kind of ghoulish aura go to their heads as the bit as they bonded with their Pokemon. Almost the same way as psychic trainers, but it's still a bit of an odd feeling. This fuzziness and lack of total clarity. Not even like when I was starting out, because that was a wall I knew I could break through. This is like a purple haze shrouding his brain just a bit, but I can only imagine it's a veritable smokescreen for Morty. Still, when I gave him the psychic suggestion to go into the gym tomorrow as usual, but come back to us with notes written and drawn regarding the layout of trainer count and such, he nods in agreement. And after I tell him where to meet us, and to not speak a word of this to anyone, of course, we send him and his sandwiches on their merry way back to the gym. End chapter. Okay, so hopefully this is the beginning of a new period of activity. I've gotten this update up, I've gotten planning done, and may soon get past the point that has me tripped up. So we'll see. We can hope and pray, please. Song is New Dark Ages by Bad Religion, because why not? Seminal punk band, hell yeah. Okay, that's it.
So,
Yeah.
they said their minds are a bit ghastly.
Yeah.
I appreciate Gar.
So,
I don't have a lot to say. I just expect this to go south really fast pretty soon.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, this has got to be the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know when else it would be.
How badly could a fight against Morty go?
Hmm.
I mean, I know psychic types are weak to ghost moves, but you know, all of them are part poison. Except for like, I don't know. Does he have any like? What is Morty's team?
I think Morty has a Gengar.
I mean, yeah, but it's still part poison, and also fast, and also strong. So you know.
There might be
It's
a
all Ghastly
Mischievous.
line members. No, it's like 2 Hondas and a Ghastly, I want to say.
Oh yeah, it's
Jesus.
completely that. You know the new ghost types we added, or ghost type, I guess.
Yeah, fuck you. If you like Mischievous, fuck you.
What the fuck were they doing with Morty?
I mean, to be fair, they literally only added one ghost type, so.
Johto, if you like Johto Pokemon, fuck you. Give you 2 middle fingers. I'll burn your fucking house down if you like Johto Pokemon.
Shit.
Get fucking
Burn it down
bit.
like Burn Tower.
Fuck. Alright, now I want my Red Bull.
Really?
Because I guess this
Really
is
though.
the last one.
Yeah, how many fucking Johto gym leaders actually have Johto Pokemon as their aces? Whitney does. Claire technically does.
What's her fucking name? Jasmine?
Yeah?
Yeah, Jasmine
Felix.
does. Technically, again, it's an evolution of a Canna Pokemon, again.
Yeah, well,
Technically, Bugsy's is a pre-evolution of a Jodomon.
No,
It's a bit of a stretch.
that's beyond the fucking pale. I remember Price's ace is like, I want to say Price's ace is Dugong, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was like.
He has a Pillow Swine, but it's not his ace.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, to be
So
fair,
I think
a lot of Jodomons are. With, you know, combined with Kano.
yeah, but I mean, the fact that the only Johto gym leader who has an ace that's a Johto Pokemon that's not from a Kanto line is Whitney.
Is that why she's the strongest?
I don't.
Alright.
I think it's just Miltank is kind of fucked up that early.
Yeah, Miltank is a lot.
Stormy, what did you do with my Red Bull? Stormy, what did you do?
Did Stormy steal Red Bull?
Should have just been right next to me.
Yeah, Price has Pillow Swine, but I don't think it's his ace. I'm pretty sure his ace is Dugong.
Did Stormy steal the Red Bull bug?
I don't think so. Could be wrong. I don't think so. Oh, is it? Okay. Alright, I guess Price gets a pass then.
Oh god. I found my Red Bull and also a bag of sour neon crawlers, as they're called.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Is that like
I
gummy
wonder.
worms?
Yeah, they're gummy worms. I think we've had this pack of, like, candy, but Red has a tendency to get snacks and she forgets that she gets them.
Yeah.
So I think it's been, like, literally a month and a half. She's not gonna care if I eat these.
Unless she catches you on stream.
No, she won't care. Because I can just buy her more if she wants some, because we got it from CVS.
So...
Yeah, they have neon in the name. Really squishy.
Squishy.
Marshmallow squishy, this is weird. Okay, are we good?
I'm probably gonna take a break and grab some water.
Cool.
That'll be good.
Alright,
Yeah.
we can keep shit-talking Johto.
Yeah, that's fair. Johto is just tragic, okay? It's just tragic. I appreciate it conceptually, but it's tragic.
It has a very nice aesthetics, like, Acutique is very pretty.
Mm-hmm. The whole feeling of the game is nice. It's very laid back, but I haven't
Yeah.
really played it enough times.
I played it a bit. I feel like there's huge issues with the level curve personally. It just goes too low and slow.
Mm, I mean, you've
Like,
got two
honestly, that's
regions.
the one game where I'd rather have like a 4 or 5 Pokemon team than a full 6 team.
No good. But I mean, when you think about the fact that it's two regions, I guess that kind of makes sense, but...
I mean, that would, but, you know, all the Kantomons are like the actual levels you would find Kantomons if you were playing a game starting from Kanto.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if, at this point, their plan was that they were toying with the idea of making all the regions interlocking as they continued, or...
I mean, maybe, but I feel like that would still be better with like a dynamic leveling system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, also with the leveling thing, it's, you know, it's not just like, oh, it's, you know, low level so you can go higher in Kanto. It's also kind of like, it feels like the wild Pokemon are like annoyingly lower level than the level you want to grind up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, early game Pokemon Nuzlocke. God.
I don't know. Level grinding doesn't really bother me.
That's fair.
I mean, I played Snakewood. I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah. So, what do you think's gonna happen in the next chapter or two?
Well, someone's dying.
Okay. Do you feel like it's gonna be the little kid?
Do I think it's gonna be Kyler?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd like to believe that, Gar knew ahead of time to get ready for it, but also Gar mentioned something in the author notes about having a hard time writing it, and I think if you're really excited for something major that's about to happen, you don't have as much of an issue writing it. That was my cat.
God, I closed that tab. I mean, Sandshrew would be like pretty, or Sandslash would be pretty good against Morty unless like, I don't know, I don't think he has any grass moves or something. Oh, but they do have Levitate. I'm an idiot. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this was a Heart Gold Soul Silver run, so yeah, Levitate.
Yeah. Yeah, I always assume the remakes, and unless it's like RSC or whatever, because, you know.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what Pokemon, Savannah's supposed to be.
Maybe it's a Stantler? She kind of gives off like a brown colored Pokemon feel. Something normal or messy. Pokemon at Route 59, I believe. I'm just gonna try and guess what catch it is.
Maybe it was a Ladybug?
Maybe?
The color scheme would work.
True. Oh, that's the wrong route. Doop-a-doo. I was totally off by like 2. 37. Yeah, and also I noticed the thing is that Gar doesn't really like add in catches, because you know with Nuzlocke, even though it's limited, you're still getting a lot of Pokemon. So yeah, I mean it could be Pidgey or if maybe it's a Growlithe or a Vulpix, but I don't know, maybe a Hoot Hoot.
It's difficult. The way that Gar wrote or writes the story locks that I think he's continuing on, Toaster Quest not being applicable as a lot of the catches don't get written in.
Yeah, and I think that's valid, and also I kind of like how he like changes the gameplay to the story. You know?
It's a sort of rabbit trail a bit. I think like it's a lot of the conversations that we often have in comic chat with at what point is it worth taking it from being fan fiction to an original work, and it really just depends on like what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's just like I guess it's like I feel like aesthetics is too light of a word to say, but like, you know, if the characters are Pokemon or not, and especially with like Jinka stories or like stuff like this,
Mhm.
where it's not exactly like Jinka, but most of the time the Pokemon are just, you know, part of the people. Uh,
Oh, whoa.
oh hi.
Let me get comfortable.
Uh, um, the live reading is reoccurring, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably not qualified to speak. I'm just in the art chat.
Yeah, we it happens every week regardless, but the stream is only if I'm available, which I
Yeah.
tend to miss quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I think like when I'm not here, you pick up like smaller story locks to read.
Yeah, usually that's what I do.
Mhm.
Like one shots or
Yeah, I
All number
usually
shots.
been waiting for a while to get back to Contagious actually.
Mhm.
is it because Drowsy is your favorite Pokemon?
Sure.
Yeah, if you mean the do you mean like the Storylock
Audiobooks?
audiobooks? Because that's something different.
Yeah.
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 I think Red's handling that if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like fully edited and posted with artwork and stuff.
A lot more professional
Yeah,
than this.
and yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like we were joking about earlier. Like this is the commentary version to the audiobook version. Is what this is.
Yeah.
If there's something else that's like literally like this about the start,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with anything.
yeah, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I don't keep track of anything, so.
Yeah, nobody's mentioned anything to me because I would assume they'd want to use the mainstream for it.
Mm-hmm.
Underground Nuzlocke readings.
Yeah. Ah, well. Well, if you're involved with it full mental, you know how to get your hands on the stream code and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like point them in the right direction or make a pitch or something. Like we'll get y'all hooked up if you all want to do like live readings and stuff. The more the merrier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hey, wanna know a fun Pokemon fact?
Sure.
Apparently the demo of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you start on Route 37,
Oh.
which is right before Ectopus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we're on chapter 11, 12.
11, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boop-ba-doo.
Does this one
I
jump?
am ready to go whenever y'all are.
Boop.
Okay, let me mute up.
Chapter 11. Haunting, haunted, haunts. My veins feel icy as I stare at the single door to the gym. Most other gyms, even in this ancient region as Johto, have shiny double doors and some intern constantly washing them, but no, the Ecruteak gym, true to the nature of the man in charge, has just a single door with a black tinted window, no less. It's not that we can't see inside. The gym training we now the other day saw to that and provided much utility. But despite the fact that beyond Kylie, none of us has set foot in or even seen the lobby, and nobody has gone further than that, I feel iced veins. I raise a single index finger to the three behind me, Kyler, Savannah, and Eli, all three of them nod. And then Vice and I make our way to the entrance. The receptionist is on the left side of this tiny lobby, and it takes a second for her to look up and meet my gaze. You can guess what happens when she does. You're going to allow us to, as well as the three coming in behind us, enter into the back and not question anything. Vice instructs her, and one obedient gesture later, we're in the clear. It's 100% pitch black through the next door. This isn't the main room, of course. There's not even ghost trainers can make do with this kind of absence of light. But I guess it's some corridor that serves the dual purpose of separating the lobby from the main part of the gym and disorienting little kids from the start. I don't know what it is about gym leaders, but I'm pretty sure from Morty on, going off rumors and hearsay, of course, they all pull this kind of shit. As if they need every edge they can get in destroying the dreams of preteens. I hate to see one of them start up a daycare or something, lawsuits everywhere. A moment later, the two of us are joined by my trio of grunts. 5 Team Rocket members barging into a gym. It's either the start of a joke or the start of an invasion, and you know me. I don't have much room for much in the way of humor. Vice traveling with me is inherently too much already. I sense out the other side of the wide corridor, and soon find a little notch to slide a door open. Leaving my hand on that notch, I turn back to the foot soldier. Kyler, I hiss. Hmm? You know. Yes, sir. With Vice clasping my free hand just to keep track of me in this stupid room, I slide open the door just enough to squeeze in, and the two of us leave the other 3 to lurk in the darkness. Hopefully until they can just turn to the exit again. As we planned, thanks to the deli trainer, the instant we enter the main room, we duck to the left, staying as quiet as dead rat-a-tats and doing our best to walk in a combination of stealth and swiftness. This part of the gym is vast, dim area, very basic. There are some rooms to the side for private training or meditation, and a small mezzanine for battle viewing, which I assume is purely for family and the closest of friends. There's a battle going on the other side, 2 hunters swiping at each other like quarreling lovers. About half of the rooms are taken, unfortunately, and another trainer or 2 mill about for whatever reason. I don't fucking know what goes on in ghost-type trainers' heads and what they do every day, though when I'm done here I'll know what one in particular does. One other distinctive thing about this dimly lit area is the sheer toll it's taking on me already. More of an itch in the back of my head than anything at the moment, but you can really feel the ghoulish waves beating down on you. It's almost like that feeling of being watched, with the same kind of reaction in your nervous system that has your spine set to shiver at any second. Except beyond that, it's hitting my brain. Maybe being watched wasn't the right analogy. It's more like a scorcher of a day when you feel the sun beating down on you. And you're from Sinnoh, like Snow Point City area. It almost makes your brain throb, I swear. I can only imagine the Vice is feeling this times 5, being a psychic type. And being a Pokemon, humans don't suffer from type weaknesses, even though some might joke we're normal type. I'd say I'm a lot more than just normal, though. Hopefully he can keep his wits about him and not fuck this up. If this doesn't work out, well, it wasn't difficult before, it sure would be after a failure. That's where I'm keeping my mind, because I'm positive we're going to down more without too much resistance. I'm cheesy, but positive thinking does actually work. And it helps to have cargo boatload of confidence. We just keep on our brisk pace, marching towards the back, and soon reach halfway there. So far, so good. Excuse me? The 2 of us pivot our heads in unison to see one of the trainers walking towards us, Haunter in tow. She's a slightly older one with eyes that have seen some shit, and legs that have been through too much of that same shit. Meanwhile, the ghosts are still hammering away at the 2 of us, and to be honest, it's getting irritating by this point. Not to mention making it hard to think almost. Yes, ma'am? Who might you 2 be? Shit, she already sounds suspicious. Fucking hag. Well, I'm Ben, and this is my Drowsy. And we were here for the gym battle? Ben was the kid's name, right? Whoever the hell are the important for this morning? That's what Kyler told me. With so many people around, even if they're mostly just minding their own business, trying to hypnotize her is out of the question. Hopefully I can just convince her that I am who I say I am and we can get on. Hey, Esmeralda, she suddenly says, turning around and beckoning to another lady, this one a bit older even, to break her leg limping on over. Meanwhile, I'm clutching my burner phone in my left pocket with my thumb hovering over the send key, because this is not getting better. Esmeralda, the first lady, starts when her comrade finally arrives. You know better than I do. What's Morty's battle schedule for today? Trainers coming in and their names and all? You're supposed to have one person in today, I believe. Chris told me it was a younger one, teenage, I think. John was his name. A teenager named John was his one battle day. Why, is this John? The first one gives me a dark, dark look, the kind that would burn through the souls of most men. Yeah, like laser cuts a dent in my head. That's mainly from the haunter deciding whether or not to feast on me now or until his trainer commands it so. No, this is not John. This is Ben. Oh. I hit send. Ben, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, she says firmly, taking the smallest of steps closer and pointing back towards the door. I give a bit of a sigh. Shit, it was not supposed to go this way. These fucking ghost types and their fucking auras or whatever, and this damn old geezer and her geezer friend and the haunter friend behind them just... Ugh. I take a step in the opposite direction, which sets both ladies off, and before I can do anything to piss them off further, they're suddenly crunch over, hands flying to their ears, along with the haunter plugging whatever its ears are. A Zubat hovers above, finishing up its supersonic, because it's not like it could have used the much more discreet Confuse Ray instead. Fuck, I probably had the supersonic ringing in my ears, unless that ringing was there before. 3 grunts and their Pokemon have emerged from the room in between. Kyler and his Sandslash, Eli and his Grappler, and Savannah, who apparently owns the world's worst Zubat. Several more than 3 gym trainers emerge from their training rooms to investigate what the hell is going on, with Ghastlies and Haunters all about. Vice exhales deeply, looking over the last shred of calmness before the storm erupts. So, we're on to plan B then. It all blows up in slow motion, like it takes everyone a moment to remember their stage directions. One of the trainers in particular, a younger guy with a shaggy head of hair and a ghastly that somehow seems just disheveled, looks around like he's speaking toward the director for his lines, and even after he gets them, still doesn't quite know what to do. After a couple moments, though, everyone realizes that they need to be beating the shit out of each other. Or all the gym trainers do. My grunts came out of the gate ready to pummel every ghoul in their path till they return to their graves. Eli's Graveler uses their rollout to get over to where Vice and I are, and magnitudes the ever-loving shit out of the geezers around me, and my partner and I take advantage of that opening to slip further towards the back. The 2 of us are looking all around as we slide closer to a corridor for safety. Mainly to see if Morty has emerged from his hidey hole to see what the hell is causing so much mayhem in his quiet little gym in his quiet little town. There's no sign of him, unless he's in a corner office with headphones on listening to death metal, whatever new age bullshit he probably listens to. There's no way in hell he's not going to appear soon. Fuck, I suddenly yelps, though it comes across loud and clear in my head, and rattles around and around and around. I pivot to see a haunter right in front of our faces now, staring us down with a demonic expression, and both its arms and tongue poised to disturb us for weeks on end. You can see my flinch from a mile away, and the ghoulish aura this punk is emanating makes my hands start to quiver. Before I can utter a command, Vice glows and fires off a panicky Psybeam, radiating all sorts of colors and smacking the haunter right in its face. Even though it was far from his best Psybeam, it still takes a ghost type a moment to shake it off, which is all Vice needs to gather his wits and properly charge up another. Thankfully, he blasts that haunter to smithereens when he does, getting a gasp of relief out of me. That damn ghost is practically choking me just by floating there. When the trainer emerges from behind the down haunter, I give Vice a nod and we hypnotize the fucker. Some middle-aged man whose face easily betrays all the smoking he's done. He'll need a few drags after this, that's for sure. Shit, I might have to cop a cigarette too once this is in the history books. All we do is get him to shut up and start working with us, and then send him on his way while we finally make it to the back of the giant room. 2 of us get to the side to be relatively out of sight before glancing at the battle going on, and it's some kind of sight to behold. Kyler's Sandslash is kicking up sand everywhere, Eli's Graveler is firing boulders all over the place, and both of them are mixing in a good number of rollouts, speeding around the room and hurling into ghosts like a demolition derby. And meanwhile, Savannah and her little Zubat are in a confrontation with a single haunter, and it's not looking nearly as golden as the other 2 grunts doing their damnedest to demolish trainers. Oh well, we can't all be winners. As Savannah gets hit by whatever the hell haunters do, I turn to Vice, feeling my head throbbing and veins probably protruding from my skull like I'm in a cartoon. Hate to say it, but I think we need to split up here, find him quick as we can, and then report to the other, I say, and he nods. Both of us have a hand to our heads if that's going to make things feel any better. Agreed, as long as we don't get caught in a bad situation by one of the trainers. It looks to me like the others have a relatively good handle on it, though. If you need me, let me know and I'll be over as quick as I can. Yeah, same. If you need anything or if you find him, hit me up via the old telepathic link and I'll book it over. One of us will find the bastard soon enough so we can get the fuck out of here. On that inspirational note, the drowsy toddles off as fast as he can to the other side of the gym, where there are some rooms and a staircase to the mezzanine. That leaves me to look around this corridor with most of the doors left open. One of them is a supply closet only opened by a crack, with the doors on either side being bathrooms. Across the hardly lit hall is a door that leads to a little infirmary for both Pokemon and humans, and takes up most of the space on that side. But then I get to the other open door at the end of the hall, and it's a little office. Black desk, black mesh chair, black bookshelf, and a computer that looks hardly used, but has to be dated by about 20 years. White computer too, so it sticks out in here like a gloom amongst blossoms. I circle the desk, first taking a glance at the books, all about ghosts, ghost-type training, just about every book you'd expect an obsessive recluse of a ghoul trainer to own. Or noticing that the computer is still on. It's buzzing quietly, though I hardly hear it over the ruckus outside, the frail growls of pain and effort from Pokemon and trainers alike. I mean, nobody's gonna be ducking in here during a massive fight if Morty isn't in here, and Vice is looking for Morty outside, so fuck it, why not do a little snooping? Gives me a chance to rest my goddamn temples. Like an old grade school teacher, his desktop is teeming with useless files he'll never open again. Everything from expense reports dated 5 years ago to last year's nutritional plan, to a few very cryptically named documents and folders. One document is dubbed Do Not Pass Go, which I guess might be a stack of passwords for various places. Though he does have the board game on the shelf too. Another folder is Train, and it contains a list of all the trainers that have worked at the gym for the past few years and other key details. The length of which they had been here, their Pokemon, current and deceased, personal and contact information, all that fun stuff. I hear an almost stifled "oh fuck" from out in the main room and pay it no mind. There's a folder in the bottom right corner that piques my attention, simply entitled Mail. Given what goodies the other cryptically named folders had inside, I assume this one's gotta be pretty good too. As soon as I open this one though, my jaw nearly drops right through the floor and into whatever hell all the ghouls outside are somehow avoiding. If my head wasn't bursting at the seams before, then the shit Morty has before me now is gonna make it explode if this is what I think it is. End chapter. So first off, shout out to Araya for getting me off my ass and getting me to edit this update finally. It had been bugging me forever, trying to get the tone right, and with a couple tweaks and switching up what happens next chapter. I feel much better about this for sure. Thanks, Twin. Secondly, I should say that my buffer on this story has been slowly shrinking for a while, and I don't anticipate that stopping too soon. But I think the brevity of this story, my aim is to hopefully have it wrapped up in about 25 to 30 chapters. I don't know, I'm shit at counting. Will motivate me to push through it. I might be slow to update stuff, but I'm gonna try to push through given this is really fun to write when I get around to writing it. I have it plotted out up till the ending, which I'm seesawing over in terms of tone. Which leads me to say I'm also going to be slower on this because I have a new story I'm posting soon. And I also think it's just flat out better than this one. Not as sassy, sadly, but I'm super hyped for it. So expect that on the horizon sometime in the near future, and I know that whatever happens to this run, Vice loves all of you. Song is Haunting, Haunted, Haunts from Against Me's phenomenal new album, Shapeshift With Me. It's punk and it's fucking fantastic. Cannot stop listening to it, seriously. End chapter.
Oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck.
Yeah, oh shit, oh fuck, is pretty much right.
Yeah.
boy. What if what he just finds in the mail folder is just like thousands of unread emails?
Yeah.
They're onto his ass and they're gonna get him.
I wonder what they mean by seesawing over it in terms of tone. That's interesting to me. I mean, I could go read the whole thing right now, I think, probably.
You could, yes.
You could if you wanted to.
Is this when, is this about the point when Gar almost started releasing, like, in Limbo?
I think so. That's
Oh.
got to be what this is referring to.
It's so hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, and Limbo's
How about
fucking
that?
gone.
Oh
Dead
no.
now.
So I guess it's no longer in limbo.
Nah,
It's just dead.
It's just,
It is.
it's
It
just
is
gone.
in limbo forever.
I mean, but yeah. At least Weiss loves all of us.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Savannah did turn out to be a Zubat, which I think none of us guessed.
Nope. I mean, it was inevitable. We should have guessed it.
True.
But I
Yeah.
I think we're focusing too much on the.
Mhm.
I mean, just over here like someone's going to die. Haha.
Yeah.
Definitely a possibility.
I mean, the battle's not over yet. Somebody could clearly end up dead. I don't know, what if, like, Morty just pulls out a fucking gun?
his new Pokemon, his new Johto Pokemon, Glock.
Yeah, and its evolution, Gloxazor.
Fucking shit. It is a Nuzlocke. Eventually someone was gonna die. It's just sort of like a toss-up with Gar in the way Gar writes. If, you know, we're gonna get, like, in a death. Like, it may have
Yeah.
happened in the Nuzlocke. But is it gonna happen in the story? We just don't know.
Are we
The
just
Pokemon
gonna, like...
may die, the person may die, they may get arrested, who knows?
Morty just pulls out a Glock. I want that kinda to happen now. I know it's not gonna happen.
Well,
but
I
kinda
mean-
want-
Gar's talked about, I don't know if Morty will, but Gar has talked about people getting punched full of bullet holes, so...
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Jasmine just
Yeah.
pulls out a Gatling gun.
It's a perfect supplemental weapon. Jesus Christ. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, one more chapter. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready if y'all are.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Chapter 12. Turn it around. It takes a lot to make the mission that Vice and I are on seem clean by comparison. It takes a lot to make it seem lawful by comparison, too. Since I assume there has to be some kind of mental tampering section of the Constitution or some such. One that outlaws acts such as the hypnosis of verified Pokemon League officials, i.e. gym leaders, Elite Four members, Nurse Joys, etc. You know I revel in the ridiculous kind of villainy required to play this out. I'm Niels. We all knew this. But you take a look at Morty from news clippings or something, since he's practically a literal ghost in real life. You don't see anything on that side of the spectrum. Yeah, he's a hermit, and he's probably grumpy and overly gung-ho about his training and his meditation. And at least a sizable part of him probably roots for the antagonist in horror movies, to say anything more spiritual or paranormal. But he's a gym leader. And gym leaders are paragons of good in this world, right? The last three were. This one is into blackmail. The folder is filled with black and white photos of people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, even though you'd assume most people here are 2 steps away from crumbling into ash. I recognize the mayor of the city in one picture not too far down. I sure as hell recognize the wad of bills being furtively slipped into his hand. Niels? Hold on, I tell him. This picture has some socialites snuggling up to a much younger man on a couch, with a shot taken through a window. This one has an older man culling the ever-loving fuck out of a much younger woman on the 3rd story of a hotel. This one, I'm not even going to describe to you what these two are doing, but it's not good. Well, it was good for them, kind of. On and on this folder goes, literally hundreds of pictures, possibly even into 4 digits, couples, politicians, even a couple of the monks at the bell tower. All of them captured in film in the most unflattering light. I think for a second, before minimizing the folder and perusing the desktop again. I find the folder I was looking for, an accounting folder, dated 11 years ago. Morty only began his tenure here 10 years ago. All sorts of names pop up on the spreadsheet, only some of whom I recognize, plus their occupations and a money amount for quite a few of them. Some are marked for press, and some others aren't. And most of them have the symbol word cut next to their name. Those who don't have visit. I dig my old camera out of my bag so as to take shots as I feel I need to, of both spreadsheet and blackmail photos, of the screen and of the computer and of the room, just to make place everything properly. Every click of the shutter sounds to me like a mug shot being taken. Every snap and vibration of the camera in my hands, like this little thing is as excited as I am at this indictment of a town hero. Sometimes it feels great to maybe not be the scummiest person around. Niels, buddy, where are you? Weiss pipes up, a little more impatient this time. Chill, I'm collecting evidence. I think I got something going here. This guy has some fucked up shit going on in secret. I'll let you know in a bit. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking and all. A thought hits me as I finish taking pictures. I finish collecting my evidence and close the windows on the computer. I could blackmail the blackmailer. As soon as I find him, or if Vice manages to scope him out, I can just waltz on in. I don't even have to have the hypnosis ready. I can just talk to him, allude to this whole illicit scheme vaguely, and then drop the bombshell, and the whole time watch him squirm like he's been cornered by a hound dog. Watch his veins dance and his throat go haywire between all the gulping and panting and tongue biting, and finally, the confessing. Niels, I found him. Vice does not sound too happy considering he's now teed up for me to knock out of the park, but no matter. Mezzanine, here. Give me a minute or two to work something out and I'll be there. Sit tight. I swear I hear a huff, but I can't tell if it was from the fight outside or Vice. Either way, I just need to make sure I have the proper word, the proper point to start the hypnosis, the proper plan afterward. Maybe I should get this whole crew behind us too, since they already apparently will do whatever Morty wants them to do. I could use one as a scout too if I need be, taking photographs of places up ahead or of getaways or whatnot. Better visual references than Kyler's doodles, that's for damn sure. I don't know how, if at all, I would change Morty's image too, but maybe that isn't a bad thing. Maybe with this secrecy I could keep the blackmail business going and turn it for rocket purposes. Expand it even. And if that could stay hidden this well for this long, then who knows if some of this scheme could take place in these murky back rooms. I'm sure he'd be game to try after all this is said and done. It takes a couple moments, especially with voices outside in the main room and the fuzz in my head still ringing, and at one point I steal a post-it from Morty's desk and scribble a couple notes on it before stuffing it in my pocket. Once I have it all mapped out in my head, once I have points A, B, and C plotted, I finally leave the office behind and make my way across the back to the stairs leading up to the mezzanine. There's an eerie kind of quiet as I do so, with all the commotion from before having died down. My brain finally feels clearer too, which I could not be more pleased about. As I near the top, I do feel a little fuzzy again, probably with Morty so near as I curse his ore or whatever, but not quite letting me get out of here without another little loss of clarity. Whatever. He's about to go down. I just have to peek up and see what's happening. Or rather, what happened. Morty's looking over at the side at his trainers, smiling to himself. The trainers themselves, I see when I follow his gaze, are just milling about, cleaning up their mess if they had made any. And a couple are even healing up Eli and Kyler's Pokemon. One of the ladies that busted my ass is knelt over Savannah, lying flat on her back in the middle of the arena as the medium inspects her or some such. None of Morty's Pokemon are out now, which explains the throbbing dimming a bit, which leaves the only Pokemon up here to be Vice, except he's definitely not the Vice I knew. Gone is his big floppy trunk, gone is that fat brown torso, and gone are the days when I would be looking down at him as he strode along next to me. Instead, he's somewhere just past shoulder height on me, and looks much more fit than fat. A ring of white fluff runs around his neck, and as I approach, he rubs his pendulum, looking over it like the biggest and best gift he got on Christmas morning. Vice? He looks up at me with slightly bigger eyes and a more pointed nose and gives me no expression at first. Glad you could make it on time, he says. I was just about to say, did you put out with Morty or something? Well, I appreciate your concern for my romantic life. No, shockingly, I did not. I did, however, wrap everything up already, so when you're ready to hit the road, we can. What? Oh, I stared at him with a little slash out. What? Morty's hypnotized. The trainers are hypnotized. Eli and Kyler are all set. He said Savannah would get taken care of by a couple of his trainers. So we're good to go. Okay, hold on. What all happened? For starters, Savannah is dead, sadly. Really? Hypno walks over to the edge of the balcony, folding his arms on the railing and looking over her. What I heard, she had gotten hit by a curse early in the fight. She was weak from the start. Some haunter came along and used hypnosis to put her to sleep. Then when he used Dream Eater, it just took the life out of her. Vice takes a pause and a deep breath. Ace might have been a bonehead, and he might have done it to himself, but she did not do anything wrong. Debatable. If she's dead now after being involved in a fight, she probably could have done some things better. Eli and Kyler aren't getting zipped up in body bags today. Who knows, maybe she'll come back as another ghoul to be trained up here. He hesitates before continuing, as if he takes a moment of silence to the past grunt, and then lets me have a properly self-congratulatory look, albeit not one grinning along with the pride. As for the situation here, well, I kept calling you, waiting for you to come over, because I found him. He was up here for a little while, directing his Pokemon from a bird's eye vantage point, so I just snuck in and put him under and waited for you to arrive. Except his ghosties kind of picked up on that for a second, as Pokemon tend to do when their trainer suddenly stops giving them commands for battle. So soon I had him cornered in a trance wanting to stave off a Gengar and 2 Haunters. Vice ambles around the mezzanine as he tells me this, pointing to the spot on the wall where he had Morty and where the ghosts were threatening him. I call for you again, and you're collecting evidence, which I'm sure was thrilling work compared to marching over and see your best friend and hypnotizing a gym leader and getting said best friend out of a sticky situation. And I call you again, just to be sure, and no dice. Great. I am on my own here to handle things. So at that point, with the ghost getting restless and Morty getting restless and my grip on him loosening, I feel loose myself. I feel loose and viscous, and yet some tension inside me coils and coils and coils. And I fire off a confusion in one of the haunters, and as soon as I wonder if this is what I think it is, everything explodes. Color, light, sound, even scent go berserk, while time itself grinds to a screeching halt. I feel pain, and yet it is faint. I feel my mind slip away, only to boomerang back to me better than ever. And as soon as all the sensations start, they stop, and I have evolved. Now he grins, now he shows me what he thinks of it all for sure. And truly, once I had evolved, it was all over. Psybeams flew and wrecked the structural integrity of the ghost. I kept just a pinky of an iron grip on Morty and kept him in check while I disposed of his fiends. And once that happened, I just knew what to do next. I swung that new pendulum of mine like an expert, and I felt in my hand the power to shift the weight of the world if I wanted. I could flick my wrist and Morty could have an intense fear of me. I could flick it the other way, and next thing he'd be doing is trying to kiss me right on the nose. Or having him put out, as you so eloquently put it. But no, I merely did my job, merely made him an ardent supporter of Team Rocket, and gathered up his gym trainers to do the same with them. If they're all going to be a little cult of darkness in here, you might as well slap a giant R on that darkness, I say. And right after they dispersed, that's when you finally emerged from your hidey hole and came out to play. Silence overtakes as I look over Morty, content in his new role as leader of the miniature Team Rocket Kingdom here at Ecritique City. And really, he could have a big role if I so wanted him to, given what he's been up to around town. Except I didn't get to utilize that knowledge. So you really couldn't wait for me, huh? Vice tilts his head at me. What? I had a huge breakthrough. I was going to make Morty a real asset for us. I had this all handled and planned out, and you couldn't evolve and then hold everyone off? I was in a bit of trouble in case you didn't hear my whole spiel, Niels. Then you evolved and it was alright. And I still had Gym Leader's Pokemon who owned a type advantage over me breathing down my new fluffy neck. Shouldn't you just be glad that we got the job done, especially given, pardon my Calosian, the shit that went down that saw a grunt pass away today? Vice gives me a stern look, the kind I normally give my foes, or give grunts who need to smack upside the head to figure out which direction to face. I reached my waist. Well, when we didn't get the job done as well as we could have, you can't blame me for being a little underwhelmed. I stuck Vice into his Pokeball as he gets ready to reply, and then walk over to Morty. Keep up the good work, bud, I say, patting him on the shoulder before heading to the stairs. I merely give Eli and Kyler cursory nods before seeing myself out a back door and into the Johto wilderness. End chapter. Okay, so now I really don't know how often I'll update, but I had to get this one up around now because, yeah, it was hard to find a good title for this. I settled on a nice pop song, Turned Around by Lucius. It's catchy as hell, go listen to it. Vice likes it, so yeah. Vice thanks all you for your continued support. You guys are the best. End chapter, end arc, etc.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't expect to just jump over the whole Morty thing, but
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm kind of sad that he didn't get to use the blackmail.
Yeah, I think Vice is too.
So I guess Savannah was quick.
yeah.
Honestly, I didn't expect her to die because she just got here, but you know,
I mean, she was a Zubat fighting Morty, let's be real.
I mean that's true. She was probably caught a lot earlier. Well, but you know, shit happens, I guess.
Mhm.
If it was really a Zubat that Gar put up against Morty, I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wouldn't it be like a Golbat by now?
Maybe.
You would think, but it is Johto. So maybe not.
Who knows what happened here? Savannah's dead, though.
Aww.
Yeah.
R.I.P. edgy teenage girl.
Rest and rip. Yeah. And that makes the end of the arc, so that was where we wanted to stop, yeah?
Yeah, because we're at about
Aw.
exactly 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, big ol' F. We'll be able
We made
to...
some good progress, though, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, we'll be able to drop this off for everybody that missed it tonight, so they can hop into the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Thank you for reading tonight, Jim. Glad I could catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad I was able to. I was really tired at the start, but once I started reading it, well, like, came together, honestly.
I'm glad I joined in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, full mental. We try to run this as... Well, it runs every week in the comic chat, but I try to stream it while I can. When I can, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which reminds me, you got Tuesday off next week? Or, I mean, that's gonna be rough. Now I think about it.
let's see. I think I do. Yeah, no, it's an unofficial server, so, if you want an invite, I can toss you one, but it's not like a Nuzlocke server, it's a Pokemon comic server that a lot of us are in, and you'll see a lot of Nuzlockers in there, so it's just a really good place to get Nuzlockers to listen along to Storylocks.
It just so happens that almost everyone here is from. I think.
Yeah, most of them are Nuzlockers, so it just makes it easier. I had my phone because I was checking my schedule. What the fuck is my schedule? Wait, do I seriously, like, have Sunday off and then, yeah. I have Sunday, Wednesday off, so we could always do this Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday works fine for me.
Yeah, I think my,
Sunday's
personal
an interesting day to
struggles.
have off, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll toss you a link.
Yeah.
He'll have to make an intro. It works a little bit differently than most of our Discord chats. Oh. That's a nice day. Okay, I mean...
Nice day.
I'd rather have tomorrow off, but you know... Well, I'd rather
That's
have both
reasonable.
off. I'd rather the forum just
Yeah.
pay me. Could this
Yeah.
just be my full-time job?
Me too. This is literally my full-time job.
Honey Bun, what are you doing?
Honey bun.
Honey Bun, just get on the bed. It's okay. It's okay.
I submit my hours for today, and that's gonna pay me. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hi, kitty. Hello.
It's okay. Maybe if I get into comic making, I can make this shit my full-time job.
Eh.
Yeah.
We'll see. But, I'm gonna go ahead and end off the stream for tonight and let the video process, and I'll ship it
Yeah.
off to comic chat so everybody can catch up for next week. Because, does Wednesday
Yeah.
sound good for you?
Yeah, Wednesday's good by me.
All right. We'll see. We'll try to hit Wednesday. We'll see how it pans out. How about that?
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah, I
What
think
day?
it'll work. We'll see.
All right.
Wednesday, it's the 3rd.
All right.
Huh,
See you
right
later,
before the
streamers.
4th.